After narrowly escaping death, he accidentally awakened a mysterious system. Thanks to it, he discovered that his shadow could evolve infinitely. Moreover, he could devour minerals to enhance his defense, tear apart beastkin to form blades, and even split into an army of shadow soldiers. In the year 2035, a rift from another dimension tore through the world's defenses. Insectoids and beastkin emerged, slaughtering humanity, and the world could only rely on evolvers to barely hold the line. Our protagonist today is Lee. His parents died tragically in the mines due to this catastrophe, but instead of receiving compensation, he was unjustly burdened with a massive debt. How could an ordinary person stand against those with supernatural abilities? Thus, Lee was forced to work in the mines to pay off the debt. A strange event unfolded today. The usually peaceful mines suddenly shook with a violent tremor. As everyone was gripped by panic and confusion, the leader stepped forward, claiming it was just a minor earthquake. Before he could finish speaking, a monster impaled him in an instant. As expected, wherever the main character Lee was, disaster followed. The beastkin slaughtered one person after another, and even those who tried to escape by vehicle died in a flash. In the midst of the crisis, Lee discovered that these beastkin were afraid of fire. His gaze shifted to a nearby torch, and he thought it was worth a try. At that moment, a beastkin charged toward him. Lee immediately sensed its presence. Trouble, there was another one on his right. He dashed toward the torch, desperate to grab it. Moments later, he seized the torch. Holding it in his hand, he said with a sigh of relief, "All right." Lee waved the torch frantically around him and shouted, "Get lost." Seeing the beastkin unable to advance, he let out a breath. His hunch was right. With newfound confidence, he shouted to the others, "Everyone listen to me. These things are afraid of fire." 10 years ago, portals suddenly appeared across the world, unleashing venomous insects, beastkin, and otherworldly creatures from another dimension onto Earth. A colossal, multi-eyed monster emerged, and only awakened evolvers, empowered by radiation, could stand against these creatures. At the same time, one evolver relentlessly attacked them. The emergence of evolvers not only gave humanity the ability to close the portals, but also ushered in a new era of exploring and harnessing energy from other dimensions. Unfortunately, we were not evolvers. Back to the chaos outside the mine, Lee urged everyone to hurry. As ordinary people, merely surviving in this world was already a desperate struggle. He shouted instructions to the surviving group, urging them to find anything flammable. Facing the monsters from the portals, they barely had the strength to flee. A man stared at the torch in his hand, his body trembling uncontrollably. He said, "But this torch won't burn for long." Lee quickly responded, "The storage room, there's gasoline there. We can use fire to seal the entrance and hold out until rescue arrives." Following his lead, they huddled together back to back, forming a circle and slowly retreating. The group inched closer to the gasoline barrels behind them. Lee said, "Good job." Seeing the moment was right, he turned to the person beside him and said, "Quick, pour the gasoline at the cave entrance." The man replied, "Got it." He decisively kicked over a nearby gasoline barrel. The fuel spilled out, flowing toward the feet of the beastkin. With everything ready, Lee shouted, "Light the torch and touch it to the gasoline." Under the beastkin, the fire ignited, engulfing the creatures in ferocious flames amid their agonizing screams. The man from earlier, relieved, placed a hand on Lee's shoulder and said, "Lee, thank goodness for you." He looked at him intently and continued, "If it weren't for you, we'd all be dead out there." Others in the group nodded in agreement. "Exactly, if you ever need help, just say the word, and I'll be there." At that moment, Lee's gaze fell on something. He looked at a massive statue nearby and hesitated, saying, "This stone statue." One of the group explained, "It was found in the mine long ago. Probably the manager, Wong, planned to smuggle it out to sell on the black market, so it's still here." Lee studied the statue closely and remarked, "It looks pretty old." Just then a voice crackled through the radio. My number 7, please respond." The man beside Lee spoke up. "We've got a signal. Quick, ask when they're coming to save us." He immediately replied, "My number 7 received. We're under attack by beastkin. We need urgent rescue." The voice on the other end responded, "We've received your situation. The rescue team will arrive in about 2 hours. Until then, please ensure your safety." Hearing this, the group panicked. 2 hours? The man urgently said, "Can you come faster? Hello?" The radio cut off, leaving only static in the mine. Someone anxiously spoke up. "What do we do? The suit's energy will only last another hour and a half. Mine's almost out. I don't want to die. My wife and kids are waiting for me. Damn it, let's drive out and take our chances rather than wait to die." Lee glanced at the electronic display on his wrist, showing 61%. He thought to himself, the suit's energy is almost gone. I hope rescue arrives soon. At that moment, someone in the group spoke up. Everyone hold on. Let me say something. He and a few others behind him held weapons, their faces sinister as they said, your suit's energy won't last until rescue. In this situation, someone has to be sacrificed. His gaze turned toward Lee and an old man, saying, like the old guy or the orphan. He pointed his staff at them and declared, you've got no ties anyway, just a pile of debt. Living only brings suffering. Facing Li's furious expression, he spoke as if delivering a death sentence. Why not give me your suit's battery? Li gritted his teeth and said, you. The man swung his staff, striking Li's shoulder, and shouted, still want to resist? Do you have the strength for that? Standing over him, he sneered, resist? Go ahead and try. He stepped forward, grabbed Li's throat, and with two others ripped off his protective mask, saying, let me help you. Maybe the radiation will awaken you. Another added, yeah, if you awaken a power, you might even become our hero. Looking at the discarded mask, Li angrily shouted, bastards. If I awaken, you're the first I'll kill. The man looked at him with disdain and said, a 1 in 1,000 chance of awakening? You think you're that lucky? His men pinned Li down and removed the device from his back. The man added another battery to his collection. Turning to the others with a cold voice, he said, who's next to try awakening? One of them immediately pushed the others aside and shouted, take theirs, not mine. As he fled, the men chased him, yelling, grab him. The man climbed into a vehicle, with angry shouts behind him. Stop right there. Inside the vehicle, he gritted his teeth and muttered, damn it, if we're going to die, we die together. The vehicle sped off, causing the statue above to tilt. Moments later, the statue fell and cracked. Behind the vehicle, the men shouted, stop him. If he breaks the fire barrier at the entrance, we're all done for. At that moment, the fallen statue seemed to smirk, and a voice echoed around. He's pushed the fire barrier aside. Beastkin! Run, the Beastkin are coming. Seeing the statue's expression, Li asked, are you laughing? Glaring at the eerie smile on the statue's face, he angrily said, even a broken stone statue dares to mock me? The Beastkin surged forward, raising their bloodied claws before Li. A question echoed in his mind. Why? Dragged upward by his head, he wondered, why must I endure all this? A Beastkin's massive claw pierced his body, and he thought, is it just because I'm weak? In his mind, dozens of cruel faces poured harsh words into his ears. Get lost. Your parents are dead. Don't expect poor relatives like us to raise you. Your parents' deaths have nothing to do with me. No money for rent? Then get out. Don't think you can dodge debts just because they're gone. The scene shifted to a rainy night, Li's desperate voice ringing out. Get out. I don't take in debtors. A man stood over him with his lackeys behind, looking down and sneering. Gone mad, have you? Investigating your parents' fate and trying to sue the corporation. A stack of papers was thrown in his face. The man shouted, these are all your accusations sent everywhere. They all ended up with me. You want the truth without compensation? I'll give you the truth. As they walked away, another man approached, raising his foot to kick Li and saying, the truth is, your parents' violations caused the accident. We won't compensate you. We demand you pay for the losses they caused the corporation. Li's hand clenched the ground. The man kicked him squarely in the face and said, listen, signing the compensation agreement and taking a few thousand would have been better. Why keep chasing this truth? Li lay battered as the man continued. Your debt is now my responsibility to collect. 30,000 in interest monthly, 3 years to pay the principal. On the 15th of each month, my men will find you. No money? Don't blame them for being ruthless. Turning away, he said coldly, you're pathetic, so I'll point you to a way out. Work as a miner in the otherworldly mines, the only job where you can pay off your debt. Back in reality, pierced by a beastkin, Li thought, if I'm going to die, I won't let you off easily. Biting down hard on the beastkin's shoulder, he thought, so what if I'm weak? Who says the weak have to wait for death? The beastkin, bleeding from the bite, roared in fury and flung him aside. Dragged up again, Li grimaced, thinking, this beast's taste is disgusting. Suspended in midair, a massive shadowy figure appeared. It laughed and said, I thought you'd unlock some potential, but it's just pointless struggling before death. Li retorted, at least I bit it. What about you? A broken statue trampled to pieces by that beast. The shadow crossed its arms, sternly saying, right now, only I can save you. Just surrender your body to me. Li gritted his teeth and snapped, I don't need you. Even if I die, I won't let anyone control me, especially an ugly thing like you. The shadow laughed with glee, saying, still defiant even in death. It swiftly seized control of his body, sneering, fool, you think you have the right to refuse? A mechanical voice rang out. Shadow system activated. Moving at blinding speed, Li circled the beastkin, causing it to freeze. The shadow controlling him yanked the beastkin's head and slammed it into the ground. Raising a massive foot, it said coldly, You trampled my statue, didn't you, you wretched insect? The foot crushed the beastkin into a pool of blood. The shadow within Li Yi remarked, I hold grudges. Another beastkin appeared behind him, shrieking. Li Yi muttered, too noisy. Before it could move, a black hole appeared beneath the beastkin. Without giving it a chance to react, he said, Go down. The beastkin was swallowed by the black hole, its face frozen in terror and confusion. Li Yi spat out the taste in his mouth, muttering, Disgusting. He turned to the group from before and said, Now for this trash. The group, suspended and bound, panicked as he approached, stammering, Li Yi, what are you doing? If you touch me, I'll report you. A massive surge of energy radiated from his body. The shadow within him said calmly, I'm curious, what would you do if I returned your body? Li Yi slowly approached the group, who pleaded in fear. Let us go. You can't treat us like this. We were just trying to survive. One of them stammered. Besides, if it weren't for us, you wouldn't even know you could become an evolver. Another added, Yeah, we might have been harsh, but you've awakened now. Li Yi frowned, his voice cold. So I should thank you? The man, thinking Li Yi was softening, said, No need to thank us. Just pretend nothing happened and let us go. Another chimed in, Yeah, exactly. Li Yi snapped his fingers and said, Not only will I let you go, I'll even help you out. Instantly, their protective masks were torn off. The men spat blood, shouting angrily, Li Yi, you. He turned and walked toward the others. They panicked, begging, Don't kill me. I didn't do anything. Li Yi tossed 2 batteries to them, saying, Their batteries are yours now. The shadow within him spoke, Get rid of that useless compassion. Standing beside him, it added, It'll only get you into trouble. Li Yi walked away, retorting, Shut up. I don't need your preaching. The shadow followed, saying, I just want to see if you can stay this tough when facing life and death. Stepping outside, Li Yi was shocked by the swarm of beastkin, exclaiming, Beastkin. He stared at them, muttering, I didn't expect so many outside the cave. The shadow behind him said, Either give me control of your body, or deal with this trash yourself. Noticing Li Yi's trembling legs, the shadow mocked, Going weak at the sight of this trash? Think carefully. Without my power, you're nothing. Li Yi snapped back. I told you already. He leaped onto a beastkin's head, saying, Don't lecture me. He stomped on its claw, thinking that felt too easy. The beastkin swung at him, but Li Yi dodged swiftly. His face showed surprise as a cold glint flashed in his eyes. Glancing at the beastkin behind, another charged, but he dodged again. Li Yi realized his reflexes and speed had improved drastically. As a frenzied beastkin rushed him, the shadow merged with his body, saying, Even with the shadow system, this is all you've got? Truly useless. Li Yi shouted, Shut up. He punched the beastkin, sending it flying, his voice ringing. Enough! Stunned, he looked at his fist, thinking, How did my strength grow so fast? Seeing the beastkin rise, he thought, Physical attacks alone can't deal significant damage. Focusing his power into his hand, he wished, If only I had a weapon. A dagger materialized in his hand, and he gasped, A shadow illusion dagger? Preparing to strike, he said, Let's see how it handles. The beastkin was sliced in half. Li Yi grinned, overjoyed. So I can kill beastkin too. 2 more charged. He thought, Have I become an evolver? Another ambushed from behind, but he spun and decapitated it. Li Yi, filled with fervor, charged forward, thinking, Finally, I have the strength to fight back. A spray of blood erupted. As a beastkin's lifeless claw hit the ground, Li Yi collapsed, exhausted, breathing heavily. Lying among the beastkin corpses, he laughed triumphantly. At that moment, a mechanical voice announced, Evolution successful. Li Yi, human race, rank E. The scene shifted to a hospital room. A nurse stood beside a doctor near Li Yi's bed and asked, No injuries or illnesses, all vitals normal. Why hasn't he woken up? The doctor replied, Evolvers are like this. Their stamina is heavily drained, and their body needs time to adapt to the new rank. The nurse's face lit up. An evolver? What's his rank? The doctor responded, Calm down. We'll check his rank when he wakes. A voice called from outside, Let's go, next room. The nurse lingered, glancing back. Just a bit longer. He's so handsome. The shadow hovering over Li Yi's bed spoke with disgust. Why this lowly human race? Rank E, no less. With my status and power, he should have awakened at rank S, or at least rank A, rank B at worst. Yet here I am, trapped in this rank E shell. Still, a rank E activating the shadow system's power and transforming into shadow form on the first try? Intriguing. Shame his comprehension can't handle even a fraction of my power. Li Yi, seeing it, said with disdain, You again? What the hell are you? Why do you keep clinging to me? The shadow spoke sternly, Lowly human, listen well. I am an ancient supreme being, of the shadow sovereign race, ruler of countless otherworldly prisons. I command you to offer your body. When I reclaim my throne from my traitorous kin, you won't lose out. Li Yi glanced at it, thinking, What nonsense. Ancient Supreme Shadow Sovereign? Never heard of it. All talk. He resolved, I'd rather die than give my body to this ugly, dark thing. Sensing his thoughts, the shadow was stunned, thinking, he dares call me ugly and dark? It spoke, enough talk. Offer your body, it's your only purpose. Li Yi didn't respond, his mind racing, why me? Offer my body. Soul possession? No, maybe it's after my looks? This thing's unhinged. Better not provoke it. If it forces me, maybe I'd comply. But it doesn't care about gender. What then? The shadow, shocked by his wild thoughts, thought, no way. I wouldn't touch that face even if I were starving. I'll use sheer will to make him yield. It reason logic might work. We're incompatible. If I anger it, I might be done for, dragged to the underworld with this ghost, souls entwined, indistinguishable. What then? The shadow, furious, dismissed his thoughts, shouting, enough with your nonsense. Grabbing his collar, it glared, thinking, I want to gouge my eyes out. Why this human? If it weren't so urgent, I'd pick an old dog over this trash. It tossed him aside, saying, 3 days. If you don't reach rank D in 3 days, I'll erase you completely. Li Yi, thrown to the ground, asked in surprise, aren't I in a hospital? The shadow explained, this gate of hell is the rank E trial of my shadow sovereign race, Insectoid Abyss. It added that each Skyborn clan member gets 1 attempt after maturity. Standing before a looming shadow in the cave, Li Yi said, you possessed me, resetting my trial attempts. Facing a massive monster, the system announced, Armored Guardian Insect. Li Yi asked, shocked, Armored Guardian Insect? How did I become this thing? The shadow explained, the shadow system I gave you reads data from my knowledge base. Get used to it. Li Yi, confused, gripped his dagger and asked, shadow system? A shadow flashed through the air. And he thought so fast. The monster roared in fury. Li Yi charged, noticing its back was a weak point. He slashed decisively, but the monster's back showed no scratches. It countered with a sharp leg, and Li Yi dodged, trying to slice its back again. Seeing no effect, he thought, its shell's too tough. The shadow mocked, useless. It taunted, is your strategy just to charge blindly? Li Yi snapped, I don't need your judgment on how I fight. The shadow replied, if you can't win, don't beg for my help. Li Yi attacked repeatedly, but the monster remained unscathed. He thought, damn it, does this insect have no weaknesses? The monster stared at him, then struck, sending him crashing into a wall. Li Yi spat blood. The shadow urged him to stand, noting green slime on his shoulder, asking, that's from the monster's claw, isn't it? The creature, oozing green liquid, roared. Li Yi realized, asking, your blood? Glaring, he said, found your weakness. From above, the armored guardian insect dove with terrifying speed, shrouded in a dense, sharp aura. Li Yi raised his weapon, gritting his teeth and snarling, let's see who's the weak one. Amid a haze of black smoke, the shadow sovereign radiated a chilling presence, glaring at Li Yi. This is shadow vision. Li Yi lunged past the armored guardian insect, swinging his dagger fiercely, shouting, break! The shadow sovereign mocked, spending half a day to cut off one leg. What's the point? Li Yi, panting, retorted, missing a front leg for defense makes it much easier to hit its weak point. He advanced step by step, knowing targeting the weak point was now simpler. The armored guardian insect retreated. Li Yi gripped his weapon tighter, thinking, if only I had a more effective weapon. Instantly, it transformed into a blade. He growled, this is it. As the armored guardian insect charged, Li Yi swung the blade high. Staring it down, he noted the insect lay still. Because he had decisively stabbed its abdomen, its weak point. Watching its body dissolve, he exhaled, I won. The system chimed in mockingly, killing a rank E armored guardian insect and you're already gasping like this? Li Yi stared at the crystal in his hand, confused. What's this? Feeling a surge of power flood his body, the shadow sovereign cursed. Idiot, this is an energy crystal. It has a chance to boost your ability rank. Li Yi nodded. Oh, an experience pack. He glanced toward the flickering lights in the darkness, sensing something approaching but seeing nothing. The shadow sovereign said with dissatisfaction, don't you know how to use shadow vision? Li Yi, puzzled, asked, what's that skill? The shadow sovereign instructed, focus dark energy into your eyes to activate shadow vision. After a moment, Li Yi's eyes widened, and he spun toward a direction, exclaiming, there! A praying mantis-like creature, the swift reaper insect, burst out, firing spikes relentlessly. Li Yi leaped up, as the spikes pierced the wall, shaking the cave. Crouching low, his eyes darted to it. So fast, what are those things zooming around? Sensing danger again, he dodged a lethal strike. Stammering, he said, this shadow vision of yours, is it useless? Why can't I see clearly? The shadow sovereign snapped impatiently. It's not the skill, it's your pathetic strength. Li Yi's eyes lit up, thinking, weak strength? Then I'll gather more energy. From the shadows, the shadow sovereign watched with intrigue, thinking, a mere rank E human controlling dark energy so skillfully? This is getting interesting. The Swift Reaper insect, known as the Head Harvester, specialized in long-range venomous spikes, rank E. The Shadow Sovereign remarked, "You're starting to grasp the basics." Li Yi froze, muttering, "Wait, this number." The Shadow Sovereign began reciting. "Your human saying goes, when you see one cockroach, the darkness is already crawling with them." Li Yi felt a chill, thinking too many. Instantly, the horde of monsters roared and charged. The Shadow Sovereign commented, "Not bad, you're finding positions to avoid being flanked." Li Yi swung his dual blades, roaring heroically, "Get lost." The Shadow Sovereign was astonished, thinking, already awakened Shadow Vision level 2 so quickly? It praised loudly, "This ranky group is quite the surprise." At that moment, Li Yi sensed something unusual. The insect's movement seemed to slow, at least by half. He quickly deduced, is this purple color their weakness? The system chimed, weakness of the spike-shooting enemy recorded. The armored guardian insect hissed through its teeth. The Shadow Sovereign remarked, "This is the benefit of breaking through to Shadow Vision level 2. It continued, gritting its teeth. "Once you see their weakness, your attacks can pierce their defenses." Li Yi shouted with resolve, "Their weak points are underneath." He decisively drove 2 spikes into the ground, activating Shadow Burial, embedding darkness into the earth and striking upward, dealing wide-area damage. A chime rang out, breakthrough to rank D, 1.2%, 2%, 2.7%. Li Yi's mind raced with confusion. Each one only gives 0.7% breakthrough progress? He spun, locking his gaze on the armored guardian insect. Now that I know their weakness, I'll end this quickly. Like an arrow, Li Yi dove in, a mix of shock and excitement burning within, wiping out the horde in one go. I can't believe Shadow Vision level 2 boosted my attack accuracy this much. Numbers flashed in his vision, showing his rank D breakthrough surging with each strike. Li Yi paused briefly, his eyes scanning instinctively. What? The Shadow Sovereign mocked. Quick reflexes, but your brain can't keep up. A glint flashed in Li Yi's eye. As the armored guardian insect closed in, he saw clearly, it was a Swift Reaper insect. Without hesitation he swung, his dual blades glowing purple. The creature growled. Oh, turning the shadow blades into a whip? In an instant, the whip coiled around its body. Li Yi hissed, "Got you." He swiftly slashed, finishing the armored guardian insect, taunting. "Escape that." The system lit up, weakness of the Swift Reaper insect recorded. From another angle, the creatures fired spikes at him. Li Yi raised his hand, his shadow blades morphing into a dark whip, lashing forward. Like to shoot, huh? A lethal strike followed. He sneered. No rear left, let's see you shoot now. The system flashed, breakthrough to rank D, 12.1%. Glancing at the remaining enemies, he said coldly, "You're next." With that, Li Yi massacred the creatures amid their piercing screams, blood splattering everywhere. The Shadow Sovereign, arms crossed, nodded with approval. "Finally showing some worthiness of me, though your stance is a bit off." It explained, "The gift of Shadow Vision's blessing enhances your senses, reflexes, strength, and dark energy control. That's why it's called the gift of Shadow Vision." A chime echoed, breakthrough to rank D, 34.2%. The Shadow Sovereign warned, "But Shadow Vision's blessing drains immense mental energy. It's the price it demands." It mocked Li Yi, "Ranky is ranky, already at your limit so soon?" Li Yi's resolve wavered, his vision blurring. "I finally gained this power to take revenge." Seizing the moment, an armored guardian insect charged. Li Yi drew his blade, glaring. "How can I fall here? Time remaining, 15 hours, 18 minutes, 42 seconds. Resentment surged within him. Those NG Corporation beasts hid the truth about my parents' deaths, and forced me to mine to pay their debts. He lunged at the creatures, swinging his blade, a plan forming. Wasn't it just because I was ordinary? Now I have the power to change everything. I won't give up. I'll take revenge. His eyes scanned the horde, hatred intensifying. I'll drag those arrogant beasts to hell. He resolved, they'll kneel before my parents' graves in remorse. The system flashed, breakthrough to rank D, 95.4%. Time remaining, 2 minutes, 15 seconds. The Shadow Sovereign frowned. Human hatred fuels the shadow system so well, even nurturing dark energy. It urged, time's running out, hurry. Moments later, it was astonished. He's planning to unleash all his dark energy at once? Isn't he afraid of exploding? Ignoring the warning, Li Yi gripped his blade tightly. Just a bit more to break through. He launched himself forward, swinging fiercely. I'll bet everything I have. Amid the chaotic battlefield, Li Yi dove downward. The moment he landed, the ground shook violently, debris scattering under his explosive power. Wiping sweat from his face, the Shadow Sovereign spoke encouragingly. Barely passable. I might call you Little D now. Li spun around, confused, scanning ahead. A weapon. The Shadow Sovereign explained. This insect hive was once a beginner trial ground for my race. In human terms, it's about rank A. Li lifted a massive sword with his bare hands, eyes locked on it. Great sword. Isn't this a giant sword? Are your people giants? The Shadow Sovereign scoffed. Compared to my dark energy, this weapon's nothing. Li retorted. Not necessarily. The Shadow Sovereign raised an eyebrow. Can he use it for something else? Li answered bluntly. Sell it for money. Smirking, he continued. Only rank D evolvers can sell equipment, so my first stop is the registration hall. Back in reality, Li exclaimed, Ranky? How can it be Ranky? A female clerk pushed a paper forward, adjusting her glasses with annoyance. Your physical stats are decent, but we detected no energy fluctuations. So you're rank E, she added calmly. Records show you're registered as a minor. Advancing to rank E grants a 15% wage increase. Outside, Li feigned calm, sneering, the shadow system is unmatched. The Shadow Sovereign chimed in. Your species' ignorance prevents you from sensing dark energy. Li thought cautiously. Not being detected might be good, though selling equipment could be tricky. The scene shifted to the night market, where shady deals thrived. The Shadow Sovereign mused. Night suits the shadow system. In a narrow alley, a teenager muttered suspiciously. Ventilation fabric from the mines? Another nearby clicked his tongue. Smells like mine slag. He grumbled. Few customers, and now a miner shows up. The Shadow Sovereign glanced at the humans, how laughable. They stick gems on scrap and call it divine. It added, I almost pity them. As Li approached, the group's tone sharpened. Get lost, miner. What's there to see? Dirty our goods, and you can't afford the consequences. Li paused, his eyes glinting coldly, words heavy. This is how you treat customers? One sneered, covering his nose. Customers? A broke nobody like you can't afford our stuff. Li slammed his greatsword into the ground. Your junk's an eyesore. Call your appraiser to see what my greatsword's worth. A woman nearby praised. Impressive. You've already reached rank D. Su Xing leaned close to Chu Ding, muttering with disgust. Why bring me to this filthy place? Spotting Chu Ding, a man approached eagerly. Isn't this young Master Chu? Got something good to sell today. Chu Ding revealed a sword, twirling it. Picked up a decent sword in a rift gate. Selling it to get my girlfriend a new car. The man's eyes lit up. The Dawnblade? It boosts damage, a hot rank D item. Li turned, recalling Su Xing. Abandoning him in the past, mocking. Your parents are dead. Taking a few million in compensation would have been smarter. Now you're broken in debt. Don't come to me again, wasting my time. Chu Ding eyed Su Xing suspiciously. You know him? She stammered, waving her hands. Me? Know a lowly miner? Maybe a fan. I'm internet famous, so it's normal. Chu Ding dragged his sword on the ground, glaring at Li. Calling Su Xing by name? You lot are getting bolder, letting lowlife trash in here. Doesn't it drag down this place's reputation? He raised his sword, snarling. Scrap stations down the street. Take your junk there before it closes. He swung furiously at Li, shouting. Get lost. Moments later, Chu Ding stared in shock at his shattered sword. How's that possible? Li smirked. Looks like your sword's the real trash. Su Xing shrieked. How? Didn't you say it cuts through iron like butter and is worth a fortune? Chu Ding cursed. Damn it. Spinning, he raised his fist, roaring. You're dead, kid. Chu Ding's fist swung past Li, who observed calmly, too slow. As Chu Ding lurched forward, he muttered praise. Not bad moves. Regaining balance, Chu Ding spun around. How about now? He unleashed a flurry of kicks at Li, who dodged another with a tilt of his head. This attack's much slower than the insect hive trials. Chu Ding glared, fists clenched. Isn't this guy just a miner? Worse than rank E? He couldn't believe it. I'm rank D, why can't I hit him? A black whip suddenly coiled around Chu Ding's wrist, hoisting him into the air. He shouted. Miners belong in caves. Li shot him a chilling glance. Then tell me, shouldn't dogs stay on the ground? With a sharp tug, Li yanked the whip, sending Chu Ding crashing face first, skidding several meters. Su Xing rushed over, screaming. Damn it! Li glanced sideways, his gaze piercing. Looks like you're eager to be a dog, huh? Chu Ding, nearly unhinged, charged. You tired of living? At the peak of the tension, a booming voice echoed. Stop this instant. Chu Ding turned, startled. Boss Wang. Emerging from the shadows, Wang's stern face and resonant voice commanded. Young Master Chu, you're a regular, but fighting in my place is too much. Su Xing quickly chimed in. That damn miner broke Chu's precious sword, so he acted. Wang frowned slightly. A miner? Approaching Li, he asked. Did your sword really break Chu Ding's weapon? Li turned, lips curling. He swung first. His sword breaking isn't my fault, is it? Wang faced Chu Ding. Young Master Chu, is that true? Leaning closer, he whispered. That kid's sword isn't ordinary. Old rules, money to me, goods to you. Chu Ding grinned coldly. fine. Wang approached Li Yi confidently. Since young Master Chu trusts me, I'll mediate. He cautiously touched the sword's hilt. Young man, may I see your sword? Li Yi handed it over without hesitation. Here. As Wang held it, he flinched. This sword weighs hundreds of pounds, yet he wields it so easily. An evolver? I need to probe. He questioned. How does a miner like you get such a weapon? Li Yi tilted his head, voice cool yet provocative. Since when does the black market check a seller's identity or item origins? Wang paused, chuckling awkwardly. Just curious. No need to share if you don't want. Li Yi narrowed his eyes, probing me? Without hiding, he said bluntly. Fine, I found this sword while mining. Wang laughed with disdain, just a lowlife miner. After examining it, he said, this sword's sturdy but lacks special attributes. Maybe worth a few hundred. Chu's sword, if unbroken, was worth over 2 million yuan. Sighing as if sympathetic, Wang's tone was firm. Here's the deal, mining's tough. I'll take this old sword. You compensate Chu 2 million yuan, and I'll cover the rest. He glared at Li Yi with a malicious smile. Consider it my kindness. Chu Ding nodded. Since Boss Wang stepped in, let's do it. Su Xing protested. No way. How can that damn miner afford 2 million? You promised me a car. Chu Ding leaned close. Relax, selling his organs will cover it. Su Xing nodded, satisfied. Fine. Li Yi scoffed. Quite the schemers. A thug cracked his knuckles. Got a problem? Li Yi's eyes blazed as he chuckled. You've got a problem? Stepping heavily toward them, he said cryptically. I'm not the only one here. The thug charged, shouting. I'll crush you. Amid the chaos, Wang turned nonchalantly. This fighting and killing is boring. Let's head to the tea room and wait for the outcome. Chu Ding grinned. Sounds good. As the group prepared to leave, the thug was suddenly hurled into a wall. Wang shouted, Biao, careful. Break something, and he can't pay for it. Before Wang finished, Li Yi delivered a swift kick, sending the thug crashing toward Chu Ding. Chu Ding kicked him aside, scoffing. Mining's done you good, built some strength. Li Yi locked eyes with Chu Ding. Your turn. Chu Ding's face darkened, teeth grinding. When did this miner get so skilled? I admit, your moves aren't bad. You can handle a few nobodies. But he charged wildly, boasting. Before a rank D evolver, you're still trash. As he closed in, Li Yi coldly swung, slapping Chu Ding's face, sending him flying meters away. Chu Ding, nearly unhinged, roared. Even my dad never hit me, and you dare strike my face? In a frenzy, he unleashed magic, hurling it at Li Yi, screaming. I'll kill you. Li Yi calmly countered with magic, blocking it. Chu Ding broke into a cold sweat, muttering, What? It's like an invisible wall. Before he could react, Li Yi advanced. If your dad didn't discipline you, I'll do it for him. Chu Ding retreated, terrified. Don't come closer. Su Xing shrieked. Ding, aren't you a rank D evolver? You can't even beat a miner. A black whip suddenly bound Chu Ding. Su Xing gasped, What's happening? Chu Ding grew suspicious. You're no miner. You're a rank C or B evolver. Li Yi shrugged confidently. Rank E miner, certified by the guild. Chu Ding couldn't believe it. Impossible. Li Yi raised his hand and Chu Ding stammered. Wait. I'm with the Black Leopard gang. Touch me, and you're against Brother Leopard. Li Yi paused, eyes deep as an abyss. The Black Leopard gang. Those lone sharks? He furiously punched Chu Ding's face, demanding. Black Leopard gang, right? Brother Leopard, right? Without mercy, Li Yi kicked Chu Ding back. Blood sprayed from Chu Ding's mouth. Li Yi turned, voice thundering. I hate lone shark scum like you most. Wang charged from behind. Die! But before he could touch Li Yi roared. Get lost! Chu Ding pleaded desperately. Misunderstanding. I've got 1 million nearby. Big shot, let's be friends. Let today slide. Li Yi approached. So it's your thick skin. He sneered. That slap was only worth 2,000? Chu Ding trembled. 500,000? 1 million? Don't hit my face. Li Yi hoisted him up. Don't you love loan sharking? Let's use your standards. Those 50 slaps were just interest. Now for the principal. Panicking, Chu Ding pulled out a card. 5 million, all yours enough? Li Yi glanced at it. NG Corporation VIP card. So you're the ones forcing me to mine and collecting NG's debts. He decided. Let Chu Ding go to lure the snake out. Chu Ding muttered weakly. I swear, that's all I've got. After a pause, Li Yi dropped him, emphasizing. The Black Leopard gang extorted millions from me over the years. This money's just returning to its owner. Su Xing anxiously supported Chu Ding. Chu, you okay? Chu Ding glared. Didn't you say he was a miner? Su Xing stammered. I want to know how he got so strong. Furious, Chu Ding slapped her. If you hadn't said he was a miner, I wouldn't have been ambushed. He grabbed his phone, eyes blazing. My money's not that easy to take. He roared. Just you wait. Elsewhere, a man calmly answered a call. Go. Chu Ding's voice came urgently. Brother Leopard, can you back me up? Some guy stole the Dawnblade I was offering you and boasted about wiping out the Black Leopard gang. The man smirked. Send me his info. A thug asked nervously. The goods are with Brother Leopard. What about these people? The man replied coldly. People here? None. His lips curled into a sinister smile, eyes glinting with malice. The thug promptly executed the group. The man announced loudly, that kid Chu Ding says to deal with the guy, dead or alive doesn't matter. The Shadow System's knowledge base updated. NG Corporation, a massive multinational, is behind Li Yi's parents' deaths. The Black Leopard gang, acting as their enforcers, handles Li Yi's debt collection. In the bustling central hall of the reception station, a polite staff member approached Li Yi. Can I assist you? Li Yi turned, face stern. I'm a ranky evolver. Any suitable missions? Laughter erupted across the hall. A man sneered. Ranky trash, lost your way? Another chuckled. Lowest missions here are rank D. You here to die? A woman whispered mockingly. He's got me dying of laughter. A ranky daring to speak up? Shameless. A burly man glared. Ranky-S leech off our rewards, disgusting parasites. A staff member waved toward the door. Ranky-S wait outside. If a team needs you, they'll pick you there. Another agreed. Yeah, left at the gate by the trash pile. Others joined in. Trash belongs with trash. Li Yi frowned. Just got 5 million, and now these lone shark vermin want it all. His priority was securing a mission. Heavy footsteps echoed from behind. The crowd staggered as the space trembled, dust falling. All eyes turned to a mysterious figure. Whispers spread. Such pressure, at least rank B. Is this a rank B's aura? I can't even step closer. A girl appeared, long hair flowing, dressed elegantly, exuding an aristocratic air. The crowd paled, stammering. Why's a rank B here? Li Yi observed her, powerful presence. Yet she looks like a delicate rich girl with no killing intent. Hiding it? Flashy yet restrained, contradictory. A man scanned the room. We need a rank D evolver miner for a beast rift. Any volunteers? Silence fell as eyes turned to Li Yi. A rank E, unfazed under rank B pressure? Murmurs grew. My knees are shaking, yet this ranky steps forward? Li Yi faced the girl. Looks like it's just me. She didn't look at him, assessing silently, a mere miner, unshaken by my rank B pressure? Interesting. A middle-aged man approached, fawning. Miss Chin from Longmen Street's 3rd District. We have plenty of rank D evolvers. Let me show you. She cut him off, eyes on Li Yi. No need. I choose him. The staff member gasped. He hasn't registered or queued. Against protocol. Her voice carried authority. I am the protocol. I said him. The man retreated. Yes, ma'am. He led her respectfully. This way, Mississippi. The staff thought. First time Miss Chin personally picked someone. Who's this miner? Elsewhere, a minotaur-like beast swung a wooden club furiously. A bard calmly played a flute, emitting a piercing sound. And the minotaur's head exploded. Amid the chaos, Li Yi calmly assessed the front line. Damage and support are covered, decent lineup. Scanning every corner, he noted good coordination, with a rank B evolver anchoring. Things should go smoothly. But he paused, glancing below. That minotaur, it's beyond rank D standards. Don't they see it? The Shadow Sovereign whispered. Your shadow vision level 2 outstrips their perception. Li Yi ignored it, pondering they might not sense it, but that rich girl should. He speculated. Maybe she knows but hides it for some reason. A subordinate spoke cautiously. Miss, Intel says the crystal vein you seek is inside. She didn't respond, her gaze like a blade on Li Yi. Miner, follow me. Li Yi replied. Coming. But thought, she knows it's dangerous yet sends a miner like me? His steps echoed in the cave, trailing her proud silhouette, the air heavy. Sensing growing danger, he wondered. Does this lady not care about her miners and subordinates? Or is she confident her rank B strength ensures a safe retreat? Suddenly, Li Yi's steps faltered, and he and the girl plummeted into a chasm. The group shouted, Miss! Landing hard. Li Yi's face tensed, eyes forward. Before him stood a rank D Minotaur beastman. Unfazed, the girl stepped forward, gripping her sword tightly. Li Yi observed coldly. Oh, the rank B evolver's about to act. She swung her sword with majestic force. But her face paled, eyes flashing with fear. Retreating, she shouted. Miner, get in there. I'll support you. Li Yi froze, staring back. Huh? I'm just a miner. Her body trembled. As she collapsed to her knees, clutching Li Yi's hand. I don't care, you go. He thought skeptically. She's rank B but expects a ranky miner like me to handle this? Sighing inwardly, I'm risking my life for a miner's pay? The girl, eyes teary, screamed. I'll give you 1,000,000 yuan. Deal with them. Money trumped reason. Li Yi agreed instantly. For that price, I'll reluctantly do it. He swung his blade, advancing toward the Minotaur beastmen. Let's go. The creatures roared fiercely. Li Yi taunted. Come on. Suddenly, they charged past him, targeting the girl. He shouted internally, "Not good, my million yuan." In the critical moment, she unleashed a protective barrier, knocking the beasts back. Li looked up, didn't expect that move. I worried for nothing. A minotaur leaped, swinging its club. Li sprinted, summoning the great sword, and slashed it without hesitation. Glancing at her, he smirked. "Why are you drawing so much aggro, Miss Qin?" She scrambled toward the cave entrance, yelling, "Run! These beastmen are yours." Li swiftly dispatched the minotaurs, panting, "You're unbelievable." Meanwhile, the girl stopped at a cliff. Gasping, "Safe here, right?" Sensing something wrong, she spun around, legs buckling, voice trembling. "Why aren't you afraid of me?" A minotaur's eyes blazed, raising its wooden club. Li, puzzled, thought, she clearly has counterattacks, so why's she scared? She shielded herself, and a burst of energy from her bracelet knocked the minotaur back, its body crashing far away. Li dodged, returning to her side. Her bracelet shattered. He frowned. A protective artifact? That wasn't her real power? Curious, he asked. "Are you a non-combat evolver?" She nodded sheepishly. "Yeah." Quickly grabbing him, she pleaded. "Wait. You have to keep this secret." Li smirked faintly. "That'll cost extra." Raising his greatsword, he probed. "Why are these minotaurs only targeting you?" Li's resolute gaze locked onto the creatures as he activated Shadow Vision Level 2. A mysterious figure emerged, and suspicion stirred in him, hiding their aura? No wonder I couldn't sense them from the start. The minotaur's erratic behavior was influenced by this strange wave. A minotaur appeared beside Qin, roaring, "Hey, miner!" Li didn't waste words, slashing it down. "Not done yet." Standing protectively before Qin, he muttered, "More minotaurs, damn, they're swarming. I can't use area skills without risking Qin. If this keeps up, I'll be worn out and die." Suddenly, he realized something. If their target is Qin. Stomping the ground, he summoned purple chains. "I'll play their game and hand her over." The chains instantly bound the minotaur's legs. "Your two protective artifacts are gone, and as a non-combat evolver, you need to be careful," he warned. "Watch for ambushes." Qin blushed. "Why say it out loud?" Unaware, a shadowy figure loomed behind her, weapon raised. "Just a lowly miner, yet you nearly disrupted my plan. A defenseless non-combat evolver. Time to send you off." As she let her guard down, he swung, but Li intervened, severing the attacker's arm. The young man stood stunned. Li exposed him. He's a rank D control system evolver, a bard, using infrasound waves to manipulate the minotaurs against you. Qin recognized him. "Lu Tung." He laughed, unmasking himself. "Foiled by a miner? My mistake." A surge of spiritual energy radiated from him. "But don't think you've won." He absorbed the life force from the minotaur's corpses, even the living ones, forming a massive minotaur-like aura. Witness the terror of a control system evolver. Li gritted his teeth. Rank C aura. He's enhancing himself by draining the beastman's life force. Qin gasped, staring at the ground. "Lava? Is he evolving into a rank C lava minotaur?" Li smirked. "From rank D to C? Even I'm impressed." The rank C lava minotaur charged, swinging its massive blade. Li raised a shield to protect them, but the devastating strike scattered debris, melting his barrier. This is rank C's destructive power. We're outmatched. Qin noticed burns on Li. "You're hurt." The minotaur broke through, raising its axe. Li grabbed her hand, lunging forward. "Hold tight." The axe loomed before Qin, making her scream. Li used his power to bind the minotaur's arm. She gasped, "It's immobilized?" "You have control system skills too." He replied, "Won't hold long, run." Turning to Qin, he instructed, "Enter the maze and run straight ahead, as far as you can." They sprinted, exchanging words. "What about you?" she asked. "Not coming." He released her hand. "I'll stall him to buy you time." Qin looked worried. "Minor." Li smiled faintly. "Hide well. I'll find you soon." He chuckled inwardly. "You're my million yuan after all." The system chimed. Shadow Knowledge Base updated. Beast Rift. Identified beast species. Rank D Minotaur Beastman. Rank C Lava Minotaur.